Good morning, everybody, and thanks, Laurent, for the introduction. Actually, it's great to be here for the 20th edition of Laval Virtual. If you think about it, those people who started that were really visionary. We feel like a child still. You know, we are at HTC. We launched the first HTC Vive 2 years ago. So we still a kind of grown-up baby, if you want to call it this way. But a lot has happened with just that first platform. And just getting back to the roots is why are we doing this? We're doing this because we feel with this technology we have the potential to free ourselves from some of the limitation of physical reality. And that's the mission that we feel empowered. And what's great here is that we feel there's so many people who share that same passion, who wants to do that same thing, is say, well, yeah, we do have limits in the physical world, but some of that we can free ourselves with. We can do more than we could without it. And this is both for the consumer content, entertainment, but this is also very, very valid for many industries in the medical world, in design, in architecture. So just as a snapshot, in a previous show at CES, we took a snapshot about a number of applications that were on the show, showing what you can do with the Vive, and I just would like to share that before we move on.
We're showing a virtual reality experience as they take the urban air taxi. I mean, Bell being the very first helicopter company to come to CES, and it's really about the user experience. Having this mock-up and having Vive in the cockpit enhances that user experience.
Everyone knows that going to the gym is boring, but virtual reality and playing games is super fun. And so what we've done is essentially paired virtual reality with a dynamic resistance machine, and this dynamic resistance machine runs through the Unity game engine. What we can effectively do is dynamically change the weight based on what's going on in the game.
I'm with CXC Simulations out of Los Angeles, California. What we do here is we build high-end racing simulators. Right now we have a Ferrari and a McLaren loaded at a track in Austria, and it helps drivers learn tracks quickly to apply them to real-life situations.
Woo! Today we are providing virtual solution for medical education. We developed this solution for universities, for hospitals, simulation centers. The main audience we retarget are surgeons, nurses and paramedics.
We're showing the Raymond Virtual Reality Simulator. The simulator is something that will connect directly into any existing Raymond truck, because now you're able to go into a completely immersive environment and you don't have to worry about any type of product damage itself.
We are supporting 12 industries today to design and simulate and put to market their products in 3D, because our customer today wants to go beyond the screen. So either they are working on industrial design, detail engineering, on marketing. They want to be able to review, to see the product as if it was real.
We're called Meshroom VR. So our software is a product design validation software. It's targeted for product designers and anybody who designs products. What we managed to do is, thanks to technologies like the HTC Vive, which is really affordable and performing, we managed to make a software for small and medium enterprises and small teams.
Our platform, SmartUp, which is a digital twin of an industrial plant, where you can exploit pilot and command of the robot inside. So you have a direct interaction with the robot to have action in real time.
We're a French company. We're doing VR for physiotherapists. We use the HTC Vive to do rehabilitation and evaluation of physical therapy at the physical practice. And the physical therapist asks his patient to wear the mask, and he's plunged into an immersed environment that we developed to make him do his physical movements to ensure he has a good rehabilitation.
There's so many applications. And I think we can really see that it is about building an ecosystem whereby each developer, each company that feels they have a limit somewhere, we empower them with this ecosystem to go beyond the limit of their physical reality. And that's really what we're trying to build. So just as a snapshot, of course, I would say virtual reality has been known as a entertainment, more gaming-oriented technology at the beginning. But in a sense, it can be applied to so many fields. And as we started by working very closely with a more software company linked to the gaming world, we did over the last 2 years also get a lot closer with industry platforms. So you can see here that from the original enabler, the positioning of the HTC Vive, which is the most premium VR platform that is in the mass marketplace. Then moving from very established, you say, entertainment and gaming software partners like Unity, Unreal, and Valve, who's really our founding partner. Then we also move into having very close relationship with companies that try to simulate reality, like Dassault Systèmes, Autodesk, Siemens, PTC, ESI, Optis as well, that really simulates real light. And today the Vive platform is by far the VR platform with the broadest support of a professional software platform. We will continue to do that because, of course, we want to enable each professional, architects, kinesiologists, doctors, to be able to do what they can't do in the physical world. Now, visualization is one thing, but it's not enough. If we want to get closer to simulate what we can't do in reality, we need to include more dimension. And the first thing we have included is to be able to bring into the virtual world some physical object. This is done with what we call the Vive tracker that you can see here. A small element that basically, if you just stick it on anything, a chair, a box, then you can track it and then you can visualize it in your virtual world. You can actually track more than 10 objects per headset. So think about, on a production line, for example, where if you do simulation training, you can actually track real object. Think about, if you think about accident prevention, where you want to really to help people, simulate dangerous, the use of dangerous objects. And I could mention, one company really, looking at, Bouygues Construction, that is looking at making sure that they can train people in dangerous situation with the feel of real objects as well. So it's all about, building a broader ecosystem, enabling the development of applications that can free ourselves from the limitation of reality. Now, what's the next step? So we've announced recently the launch of a new product. As I say, we're 2 years old with the Vive and the existing Vive that a lot of you knows is still in the market and will stay in the market. But we wanted to complement it, to start to build a portfolio to be able to address different use cases. And we're just launching the Vive Pro. The first Vive Pro will be shipped actually tomorrow. So just for our second anniversary. And the Vive Pro is taking all the Vive assets and improving every element. So let me go a bit, one by one to all the core improvements. On the visualization, so there is the big improvement in resolution, so 78% improvement into the number of pixels. And if you see, what does that do? For example, in simulation training, often you have some text to read, like you have simulated a display, for example. And now with this higher resolution, you can read the text. You could see that in one of the example in the video, for example, with Sim4Health, the company from Bordeaux that is doing medical training. Of course, there, when you simulate, for example, you could see some displays, test equipment displays. Of course, they have some small text, and now you can read it. I also had myself the opportunity, it was at just a month ago, to test one of the startup that is in the Airbus lab, the startup lab from Airbus, and they're doing a simulation of the A320 cockpit. And you probably, if you've had a chance to see that, there are a lot of small meters, a lot of small elements, and it's quite impressive to see the level of detail that you can see, and you can really get very close to a real-life simulation. So resolution is really important for all that aspect. If you want to test it, there are a number of partners here on the show that are showing the Vive Pro, and I'll come to that a bit later on. Now, beyond visualization, there is a lot more aspect of immersion. And for example, audio is taking more and more of a bigger role. In entertainment, it's obvious, but also in the simulation training, which is a very fast-growing market. Audio is very important because, let's say you want to simulate a dangerous situation, then of course sound is very important. Where does the sound come from? How is the object moving? And the possibility to have high-quality sound, but also specialized sound, is very, very important. So in this case with the Vive Pro, there are a lot of improvements coming. Both there is a dedicated amplifier in line with very high quality. It actually supports 24-bit encoding. It does have on the top a specialized sound engine. It also has, which is really important, noise cancellation. So there is actually 2 microphones built in the Vive Pro that are being used for active noise cancellation, both for hearing, if you are in a noisy environment. A trade show is a typical one, and but it's also possible for speaking, because what we have seen over the last 2 years is that from initial one-user visualization application, the application have developed a lot toward collaborative, multi-user. So there is whether it's for product design, for engineering, there is a lot more of multi-user application where people want to speak, and while they're actually working. You'll actually be able to experience that here on the show. There are other improvements as well, which are very, very relevant to the enterprise world. In the enterprise world, often the headset is used by many people. So it's important that you can put it on, off, adapt it immediately to many people. It is not necessarily used for a long time, product reviews, or you want to check a product. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it's important that it can be used by a lot of people quickly. And I just want to mention a number of improvements. You'll see that the balance, the weight balance, is fairly different. So there is more weight toward the back, so that when you actually wear the headset, you feel it's just fine. It doesn't take you to the front. There is also a one-click button for glasses, because we realized that a lot of people had different spectacles. They were, and some are big, some are small, and and we had a system to adapt, but this one is just one click for whether you have large glasses or small glasses. So you really can fit to anybody that comes in. Now, beyond the headset, we also had in the enterprise world really a strong request to be able to track a wider space. And for example, a typical product design, in the car industry, on average, the product design review is with 6 people in a space of about 10 by 10 meters, because a car is about 6 meters long for the longer cars. And today the product reviews were being done with using teleportation, so that you would teleport yourself to one side of the car or another side and move to be able to look at the 2 angles. Now, what you will be able to do with the Vive Pro and the new tracking system is to have a 10 by 10 meter tracked area using actually the new generation of base station, which we call the base station 2.0. So it refers to Valve, Steam VR tracking 2.0 new technology. And then with this technology, instead of just using 2 base stations, you will be able to have 4. So think that if you place like 4 base stations in 4 corners of the room, then of course you have the risk of occlusion is a lot smaller. When you have 6 people in the room and they move around. So that will provide a lot more comfortable product review. If you think also about other use cases like an architect that makes a customer visit virtually a building that doesn't exist, pushing teaching the customer to teleport has always been for the first time, always a little bit of a difficulty. Now with a large room, 10 by 10 meter, you'll be able really to move a lot more naturally around to make visit a new building. So that's another large improvement of the Vive Pro, and when you associate it with the Steam VR tracking 2.0. Just one point to mention here: the Vive Pro, as a headset, is compatible with both today's tracking. So if you have a Vive and you already have the existing base station and a hand controller, and if you don't need to have a wider tracking area, then you can simply take the Vive Pro, use it with the base station hand controller you have. It will work fine. But it will also work with the new generation of Steam VR tracking 2.0, which will allow you to get to 10 by 10 meters. Beyond this, I think we all feel that, what if it could be wireless? We all would love to have, no limits, yeah? And this is all something we're working on. Of course, we say, the tether has an advantage in the sense that you can really transmit a lot of data without delays through a tether. But we're working a lot to be able to bring to the market a wireless adapter as well. That will come around midsummer, and this will work both with today Vive, so the existing Vive that you might have, and the new Vive Pro that we're launching now, and that will be able to cover the complete area of 10 by 10 meter as well that we're introducing with the new tracking system. So from timing perspective, I think you can see that we're just launching the HMD now. We're starting to ship tomorrow. We'll soon be coming with more news about the Steam VR tracking 2.0 full set, which means the new base station 2.0 and the new head controllers. We are on the tracker side, so there is a new Vive tracker that we call the Vive Tracker 2018 that we're also launching in a few weeks. And then after that, midsummer will come the wireless adapter that will complete the complete proposition. So with this, I think the Vive Pro will allow a lot of companies to move beyond the limitation that they felt with this third generation, and really deploy much widely the VR in their business. Now here in Laval Virtual, of course, we've worked with a number of partners to really be able to demo. If you want to try the Vive Pro, you can try it on a number of partners here. I would mention the Dassault system is just maybe two, 3 booths on the back. They actually have a very innovative software. It happens that at the same time that we're launching the Vive Pro, they're also launching one of their new software suite. And both for CAD engineers that use CATIA, you'll be able to see that you completely live, real-time in VR with the product you're designing. But in addition, you can collaborate with your colleagues that are remote. So that's completely new. There is another application which is really powerful, is that until now engineers would have to really, take their CAD, modify their data in order to be able to build, you will say, marketing application. And now with the new 3D Excite application, you can actually directly, build animated marketing applications, without breaking your data flow. So I think we can really see how that ecosystem is developing, and this is they're really very powerful software coming. You'll be able to experience also distant collaboration, multi-user, multi-format with TechViz and Middle VR just here and there. And on the immersion booth over there, you can also experience the Vive Pro. Optis and ESI. ESI is together with Optis and PNY. You go to the PNY booth just a little bit on the left there. You'll be able to see really, a very, very high quality, simulation of design. And then, definitely with the Vive Pro higher quality, then you can really see the difference when you look at the details of the design. I'll be around, so I'll be happy to discuss with any of you if you have any question on big projects you want to roll out. And thank you very much for listening.